Welcome to my channel, the home of unpopular opinion. Here we think cheating is wrong, playing the metagame is lame, didn't believe in Z version, also that clickbaiting for fake leaks is pretty bad, and we just don't like Love Disc. That's kind of how it is. So with the introduction of the Aether Foundation, it's been pretty rough over here. We try to avoid cliches, we try to make sure we look at everything about as level as possible, because it's just a nice organization that's out there to help Pokemon from the evil team out there, or at least just Pokemon that are in need. I mean, look at these guys. They're wearing white, they look so nice and oh god, they're going to be evil, aren't they? So that's pretty much like what has been going around right now. Everyone's theories are just like, yo, the Aether Foundation are secretly the bad guys, they look too good to be true, and you know what doesn't help their case? Their actual description. So here we have the Aether Foundation. The Aether Foundation works in the Alola region. The Foundation's goal is to care for Pokemon that have been hurt. Oh, that sounds absolutely fine. The Aether Foundation has constructed an artificial island called Aether Paradise. When you start calling something Paradise, that kind of shows your goals are a little ambitious, and you might do bad things to make sure those ambitions come true. Damn cliches. There, they not only provide shelter for Pokemon, but also conduct various research projects. It seems that the main character will be able to visit the Aether Paradise during their adventure. Awesome! So, they're just like a nice, friendly group of people, huh? Just super welcoming to all the Pokemon out there that need help in some kind of way, but they're also rich enough. This place has money. They have some kind of resources or something to build a large floating island that can house many Pokemon and then conduct research projects. Where do they draw the line? We don't know. But then we can also see that there's Ultra Beasts, something that's threatening the entire region, something that could potentially threaten the world. These are powerful creatures we have no idea of. They're absolutely terrifying. Like the jellyfish thing, that creeps me out. Super, super scary right there. But for some reason, it spawns in Paradise. Are they conducting researches on Ultra Beasts? We don't know any of these things, so a lot of the video is going to be speculation. But it's kind of hard to ignore that they have a little too much power, and they seem a little too good for them to not have something not quite perfect in their intentions. But that's where we go and look at the team, because when you think about it, Team Skull, they don't come off as bad guys, honestly. That they're just thugs, you know, they steal Pokemon, but that doesn't mean that they're evil. They're not plotting to take over the world, as it seems. Their leader, Guzma, seems like a pretty chill guy. He does have a couple moments of being unhinged, but in the face of his rival, Professor Kukui, he can handle his own pretty well. He just wants a little bit of power, but he's not absolutely too bad. Also, the admin, Plumeria, she tries to take care of the grunts, so they're just gangstas, you know? They're not trying to go out and, like, harm people, and they don't have any truly malicious intentions. They're just trying to scrape by as some kind of ragtag group of people that, you know, they might do some bad things, but it doesn't make them, like, truly evil. Now, Gladion owns the mysterious type Null, which is where things get interesting. Also, he has, like, a weird grasp for power, but he seems like just a kid in the end, so not like he's going to be able to do too much crazy stuff. And when it comes to type Null, it seems like it might actually hold a key to be able to control or at least combat Ultra Beasts in a way, because it is a absurdly powerful Pokemon. You know, they're just there. You know, Team Skull doesn't seem like the true bad guys when we get into it. But also, as we can see later on in these trailers, we break it down. Yeah. That Ultra Beast still creeps me out. Like, what is going on right here? Was this a byproduct of their research? Was their research to try to discover these things and something went wrong? Who knows? Again, this is all going to be speculation, but it's still really interesting as to how a lot of this has unfolded. And then there's others, theories, and crazy things running around. Now, going off of the Aether Foundation being bad guys part of it, people start to find crazy things. Like in the trailer, this doesn't seem like one of the members we have met, but it also doesn't look like a normal apprentice kind of person that's just working for Team Aether. It might be some kind of secondary member that we haven't seen yet, and there's something going on with this person's head, who knows? And as we kind of go through the dialogue and stuff, we get to see this a bit more. What is that? That kind of looks like a tealish blue kind of color. Is that hair? Is that even a person over there? Because now people are trying to like add and overanalyze and look into this in every way possible, but if we kind of pay attention to it, they're in a different place. As you can see, I don't remember this guy's name. Oh good, that's why I have this over. Faba Faba, you know, someone's like, this little guy's up to something. So when we look at Faba, he's standing in a different place than he was standing over here. Like, there's no door behind him. He's closer to this wall over here, which means that this character might still have, like, moved over in some way. And the crazy theory that would, like, super blow this wide open is that it's Colress. That Colress, he became the new leader of Team Plasma, and he wants to draw out the strength of Pokemon. Well, where would be the best place to draw out the true strength of Pokemon than the Aether Foundation, where they have tons of money, tons of resources, conducting projects on Pokemon, have a way of monitoring Ultra Beasts, which are some of the most powerful things ever, which would be absolutely great to study. And even though he isn't, like, truly in Team Plasma's old ways, you know, where he tells Blair he disagrees with the old Team Plasma's goals to liberate Pokemon from humans. Well, it's not quite liberation from humans with Team Aether. They're protecting Pokemon, which means you just have a nice little pool of research to go for. And as you progress through the storyline of Pokemon Black and White 2, we go and take him down, and he doesn't seem like too much of a bad guy overall. But in the anime, there's something really interesting. As Officer Jenny took Team Plasma into custody, Colress mentioned his next project will be a device that allows Pokemon to communicate with people. So when we look at Colress overall, he seems like a pretty friendly guy, and then turns out, well, he is kind of the leader of an evil team, so... Also, when it comes to Colress, think about Dexio and Cena, that they went from the Kalos region to the Alola region, so the region's pretty open, and it's a pretty awesome hotspot. Now, if there isn't too much notice as to what Colress is up to, or if maybe the timeline's all crazy, or he's reformed in some way, it wouldn't be too hard for Colress to kind of sneak in. And also, that would be really an interesting position for our protagonist, that our protagonist that we play at in the Alola region doesn't know anything about what Colress has done in the past. So we'll see it as a player and be like, oh my goodness, and then our character's just going to be like, yeah, he probably means good for the Aether Foundation, or something crazy like that. But it keeps going deeper and deeper. So here we have an interview with Junichi Masuda. Were there any extra features that you want to put in Pokemon X and Y that didn't quite make the final cut? Now, what he wanted in the game was a translating machine for Pokemon cries to find out what they're saying. So you have this machine when Pokemon cries something, text will appear saying what that Pokemon's saying. So pretty much a way of communicating with Pokemon. This has been an idea throughout the franchise. As we can see, Masuda wanted it in X and Y kind of. Colress mentions it as an opportunity or like a device he wants to make. And then the Rotom Dex comes out. Is this Colress's new project? You know, Pokedex is a convenient tool that records information about Pokemon you see and catch during your adventure. Pokemon Sun and Moon, your character receives a special Pokedex from Professor Kukui to support you in your travels. Now, you don't have to know that it's from Colress or that it's from a bad guy. What if Team Aether created this with the help of Colress or something like this? Now, here's the thing about the Rotom Dex. When it was first revealed, everyone lost their mind, and now it's just kind of something like everyone accepts. But what if it does hold a much deeper part of the story? We already know we can do like a Pokemon Snap minigame with it, but it keeps going. You know, the Rotom Dex shows your current location and your next destination. It also gives you advice on where to go next based on conversations you have with others. Likely to be of great help to you in many parts of your battles. So, it's a Pokemon that talks with you. And I'd imagine that there's probably the potential that it can communicate with other Pokemon for you because it's a Rotom. It's a Pokemon. Pokemon communicate, and then it can relay the information back to you, kind of like Team Rocket's Meowth. So, we're in a really weird place right now. So as we go and understand the Team Aether Foundation, there's going to be a lot to keep an eye out as new information comes out. I'm also wondering if we're even going to get any more information. Like, Pokemon, with the most recent news updates, dropped a ton of information. And some people were even saying that's a bit too much. We got new Pokemon reveals. We also got, like, the team elaboration. We got Ultra Beasts. What are we going to do with all this? I think that the best move for Pokemon would be to just leave it as is. We'll find out the rest of the story, but if we do get any more information, or if you do see something suspicious as you're playing through the game, it's going to be a little more fun to kind of understand how it's going to play out, especially if it turns out, like, maybe Team Aether isn't necessarily evil, but their ambitions doom the world, and you see that their intentions aren't as pure as something like the Aether Foundation. That's another thing, their name, Building Paradise, cliches, damn it, it's going to happen, isn't it? You don't want to fall in that, but it seems like it's going to be the way that it is. And then we don't even know how Legendary's playing into the story. Like, it doesn't seem like Team Skull is really caring too much to steal the Legendaries and gain ultimate power or something like that. but is the Team Aether Foundation going to have something to do with legendaries? Do they feel that, you know, Solgaleo and Lunala would be in danger for some reason, so it's their duty to keep Solgaleo and Lunala, quote-unquote, safe, as they can also go and perform research and other kind of subject stuff like that? So we're getting into a lot of really deep stuff right now. I think some people are also going to have a little bit of problems with this video, like, oh, well, if you don't like fakes and you don't like leaks and stuff, then why are you making like such a stretch when it comes to Team Plasma and all these like crazy theories and stuff? I believe that there is a solid difference between fakes, unconfirmed information, quote-unquote leaks, rumors, things off 4chan, stuff that can't be trusted, and stuff that we're speculating on based on the information we have. It's a lot more fun to wonder, hey, what's going to happen about Team Aether, instead of saying, oh my god, Alolan Arcanine is confirmed, because no matter what happens with the way that this team is going to break down, if we see Colress, that's going to be like the, oh dang, it's actually happening moment, or if we don't see Colress, we're still going to have to figure out what Team Aether is up to. So either way, like, the theory plays out. It doesn't spoil too much. It's not like you're going to see it and be like, oh, thanks for Verlisify, now I know that, you know, Team Aether is going to be the bad guys. No, it's going to be like, oh crap, this was right. Now what does that mean? Kind of idea. Whereas if it's fake information, it's like, oh man, I really want this in the game now, and then we don't get it because it was just some dude trolling, and we're believing the trolls more than new information. That's what's really getting me right here. So, closing thoughts, you know, is this Colress? Is the Team Aether, like, even without Colress, it seems like the Aether Foundation is going to be not as pure as we think, and it doesn't seem like Team Skull is competent enough to be like super crazy bad guys. And I'll just leave with like the last little bits of like pictures and stuff right here. Is that Colress? We do see that if we like zoom it in just right, there is something starting on the guy's left side of the head that kind of wraps around like Colress's crazy hair. But when you look at the perspective, is it just because it's so zoomed out enough that details start to get lost? Maybe there's just like, I don't know, maybe it's a weird hat. Maybe there's some kind of headgear going on, like a research device. But it's obviously someone different from a regular employee. And if it is Colress, the jacket kind of matches, but kind of doesn't. Because for the hair to be on the left side, it has to be roughly facing us, or at least facing at Sudowoodo. But then we don't see the jacket kind of opened up, or there's no seam in the jacket. All the perspective is really screwed up when it comes to how Colress could look in the game. But there's still going to be some interesting things to work out. So, hope you guys enjoyed the video. Aether Foundation, do we just play it safe? It's a lot cooler to say the thing that no one else is expecting, or to go against what everyone else is saying, because there is logic behind it. Much like my Z version call, you know, I was like, there's not going to be Z version, even though 90% of the community thought that we were getting Z version next. So with this, I think it's a lot safer to say, Team Aether might be up to something. You know, you just got to give in every once in a while. So if you guys enjoy the video, hope you all have a nice day. Thank you very much for watching.